Hello everyone, hope you're all keeping safe, hope you're all keeping sane. Firstly, before I begin to the subject of today's video, thank you so much for all your support off the back of my last little rant that I had the other day. Got a load of lovely messages, really appreciate it guys, thank you. And I will reiterate one more time that, whilst everything I say is my opinion, I'm very happy for people not to share that opinion, and if you do disagree, if you've got some other points you want to bring up, then do pop them in the comment section. I always make an effort to reply to everyone, particularly those comments that disagree with me, because actually I think it's good to have a debate. I mean, quite often there is no hard and fast answer. It is a matter of opinion, really. So thanks so much for all your support, really appreciate it. Now on to today's video. I've said in the past, and the very nature of this channel and by its very existence would demonstrate that quitting gambling, if you have a gambling addiction, is incredibly difficult. Abstaining from gambling when you have a gambling addiction is very difficult. But at the moment, it's actually surprisingly easy. At the moment, there are very few ways in which you can gamble. Now, typically, if you are a gambling addict like myself, you will find that there is gambling everywhere. There's gambling on every high street in the bookies, and the bookies in local shops as well. There's these town centre adult gaming centres, arcades. You can go into any pub and play, basically FOBT type games, on the fruit machines now. So gambling is basically everywhere. Even at the seaside, where everything's supposed to be sort of light-hearted and fun, there are adult gaming areas in seaside arcades where it's perfectly feasible to lose hundreds of pounds in an hour. One of the biggest issues I've always said with quitting gambling is purely the amount and availability of gambling that's out there, and that's what makes it really quite difficult to abstain at times. At the moment, however, the vast majority of gambling avenues are closed. The pubs are shut, the bookies are shut, all the seaside arcades are shut, the town centre arcades are shut. There aren't, like the land-based casinos, they're all shut and probably will be for a little while longer. There are, very few ways in which you can gamble. In fact, the only way, unless you count lottery tickets and things like that, the only way realistically you can gamble at the moment is online. And that means, at the moment, it has never ever been easier to abstain from gambling. I've talked about GamStop before, but if you put GamStop on your computer, on your devices, you register with GamStop, that's it. That is gambling done for now. If you register with GamStop, you won't be able to sign up and play at any online casinos. You won't be able to buy any online scratch cards or any of that nonsense. You won't be able to place any sports bets. Not that there's much sport to bet on at the moment, but you are basically cutting off all those avenues in one fell swoop. If for whatever reason you don't use GamStop, then get yourself a bank account, like a Monzo account. Or I believe someone said that HSBC now will allow you to block gambling transactions on your account. Do that, and then you can't gamble online. At the moment, it's really simple to stop yourself from gambling if you want to. Now, I would say at the moment, if you're still gambling and you're telling yourself, I want to stop gambling, I need to stop gambling, but you're still finding a way to gamble, you're still finding a way to lose your money, then I think you might have to be a little bit more honest with yourself, because it's so simple to prevent yourself from physically from gambling at the moment, that if you are still finding ways to gamble, then I think you're probably a little bit in denial. Maybe you need to assess whether you're really ready to stop, whether you really want to quit. And it's something I've always said, that when it comes to quitting, we know we should quit. We know we need to quit sometimes. We know we can see the damage it's causing us, but you have to actually really want to do it before you're likely to have any chance of success. So at the moment, it's never been easier to stop yourself from gambling. And if you are gambling still, then maybe have a think whether actually you're ready to quit. I strongly obviously encourage that you do, but you need to make that decision. So at the moment it's easy, but what we need to get ready for, what we need to prepare ourselves for, is what we're going to do as and when these lockdown restrictions are lifted, because it won't be too long. It seems like an age for people like myself, but it won't be too long before the pubs start opening. I'm sure it won't be that long before the bookies start opening and the casinos and everywhere else in the arcades. you know, and that's when you have to then become more careful. You have to then put more blocks in place and use different workarounds. You know, GamStop, you know, not being able to deposit online with your bank, you know, great at the moment, and that's pretty much everything done and dusted right there. But once these other establishments start opening, these bricks and mortar casinos, bookies, arcades, pubs and everything else, you'll need to look at different ways in which to prevent yourself from gambling, whether that's not carrying cash when you go out for a beer and just using your contactless card to pay for your beer. That's one thing I did, because actually, whilst my biggest losses were probably online casinos and things like that, my most consistent, my most, I think, stupid losses really were playing the fruit machines in pubs, where I'd consistently lose, you know, 100, 200 quid on a stupid low RTP game, just because it's there. So I stopped carrying cash, I stopped taking cash to the pub. And if I did take cash to the pub, for example, I was going to a pub that maybe didn't have card facilities, rare, but do still exist, take, you know, as much as you think you're going to drink. Because as much as I have a problem with gambling, you know, if I only have enough money in my pocket for 5 pints and I know I'm going to be out for the afternoon, I'm not going to spend that money gambling when I want to keep that money aside for the beer. So, you know, maybe try doing that. Self-exclude yourself from bookies. Use this time now to get some passport-sized photos ready, and then take those to bookies as soon as they open, and self-exclude. Or use the online, you know, multi-operator self-exclusion scheme, which I think also covers arcades and stuff now. I'll try and find a link and put it in the description below, but also there you'll find a link for GamStop, and for also lots of other support services as well, like GamCare and like the Samaritans if you're really struggling. So there's never been an easier time to prevent yourself from gambling, but that will change. So what are you going to do? Have a think now. Get prepared for it. Get prepared for lockdown to be lifted, and make sure you've got things in place so when these establishments do start reopening, that you're not tempted to go there straight away, because the gambling urge will kick in as soon as it knows. Right? The urge it might be lying dormant at the moment, particularly if you blocked yourself online. It'll be lying dormant. But you wait. As soon as news comes through that bookies are open, the arcades are open, the casinos are open, the pubs are open, that gambling urge will come to life and it will test you. So get ready, decide what you're going to do now. Have a flick through my old videos. You know, I think there's some good advice in there. You know, people sometimes beg to differ, but that's all good. And get yourself prepared. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.